Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. In 1968, at the height of the Flower Power era, the Mod Squad hit the television airwaves. It was created by a former LAPD narcotics officer named Buddy Ruskin and produced by Danny Thomas and Aaron Spelling. That show hosted a truly diverse and hip main cast, with the lead roles going to Michael Cole, Peggy Lipton, and Clarence Williams III. Solid. And they also had a groovy group of guest stars. For example, a pre-Star Wars Harrison Ford had an uncredited role on the very first episode, and classic television was well represented. They had on the likes of David Cassidy, Milton Berle, Tony Dow, Clint Howard, and Carolyn Jones. A single episode called The Connection had Ed Asner, Stephanie Powers, Cesar Romero, and Robert Reed, who we all know as Mike Brady. And speaking of Brady, a young Barry Williams, who we know as Greg Brady, also had a small role on the show. Now that's just
far out,
man. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. You know, Jack Benny took his vaudeville experience to radio in 1932 and was a huge success. In fact, it would be 18 years of radio before Jack reluctantly put his show in front of the camera. And as for television, Jack really didn't need to make a splash with such a popular radio show. Instead, he slowly waded into the TV pool, sensing that the camera might be some sort of man-eating monster ready to devour his career from overexposure. Well, after 11 long years of slowly but surely transitioning from radio to TV, the Jack Benny program became a staple of weekly television on CBS. And it turned out the camera wasn't the monster Jack had feared. Instead, it was his devoted audience that devoured his comedic gestures, his classic double takes, and his impeccable timing. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. Quote, "We've got another holiday to worry about."
It seems Thanksgiving Day is upon us.
End quote. Well, the holiday season has always been a bit more magical thanks to the Charlie Brown TV specials. And of course, what better way to feel that magic than with Vince Guaraldi's classic musical piece, Linus and Lucy. And it's arguably one of the most recognizable songs ever written. And you know, one of the coolest pieces of trivia I've learned regarding a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is about Vince's song, Little Birdie. Little Birdie! Did you know that's the first adult voice that had been integrated into any of the specials? And that's the voice of Vince Guaraldi singing it. And although he passed away at only 47, Guaraldi's music will always have a warm place in all of our hearts. So there's someone to truly give thanks for this holiday season, the memorable Vince Guaraldi. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. You know who another one of my classic TV crushes was? Well, she was the crime-fighting partner of John Steed. In the British TV import The Avengers, Steed, played by Patrick Macnee, actually had two other notable partners. They were Kathy Gale and Tara King. But it was Emma Peel, played by Diana Rigg, that won my heart, especially in that black leather outfit. Well, it said the creators wanted to incorporate some man appeal into the show. They literally worked that term into the character's name. Initially, she was Samantha Peel, then Mantha Peel, then M. Peel, and finally Emma Peel. And that, to many, made for the best Avengers combination. After the Avengers, Rigg went to work on Broadway and was nominated for 3 Tony Awards. She also played a Bond girl in Her Majesty's Secret Service. Not only was she a Bond girl, but she was the only ever James Bond movie wife. And I think she was perfectly cast for that role because Diana always had me shaken as well as stirred. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. In a successful run from 1962 to 1967, the World War II drama Combat starred Vic Morrow and Rick Jason. For realism, the producers had the main cast go through actual basic training at Fort Ord, which, by the way, was located right here in the Monterey Bay area. I remember as a kid hearing the explosions from the live fire exercises, which would explain why I'm a little shell-shocked. Well, Combat had the budget to do it right at over $150,000 per episode, and that equates to over $1 million in today's money. But ironically, Vic Morrow literally had to go on strike before the second season just to get decent dressing rooms. And Rick Jason said at times they were lucky just to have a chair on the set. Now that's what I call a little too real realism. Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. Route 66 was known for being ahead of its time, and it also influenced some other shows that came later. For example, Run for Your Life, Then Came Bronson, and Moving On. The show touched on many dramatic social issues, but it could also be light and comedic. And there was one such episode named Lizard's Leg and Owlet's Wing. It guest starred Peter Lorre, Lon Chaney Jr., and Boris Karloff. And what was really great was that two of the classic Universal monsters made their on-screen return. Yep, in full makeup, Lon Chaney Jr. as the werewolf and Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster. Although it had been decades since they'd worn the costumes, they still pretty much resembled their original characters. And if you watch the episode, especially Boris Karloff.